We live. Hold up, hear me out though. My guy, June, your boy, Rex.
Yeah.
We in here. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? June, what up though? How you doing, my guy?
Chilling. How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. You know what I mean? I'm looking pretty grimy, but it's all good. The show doesn't stop. We got to keep going. You
Yes,
dig? I
sir.
see you looking fresh as usual. You already know
Mm.
what it do, y'all. If y'all new, welcome. For those of you that have continued to rock with us, we appreciate y'all. Once again, tune in with us. Uh, as we said, we did a little change up. So every Wednesdays, 8:15, um, with Hold Up Hear Me Out though. Then the collab on Fridays with Matter of Opinion, at same time, 8:15. So starting next week, we won't be doing it on Mondays, live on Mondays, but we will doing like, you know, uh, um, reposts and stuff like that. So now we're getting right into it. Check it. First question is is it okay to be emotional around your woman? And I'll start us off. Um, Emotional around your woman, in my opinion, not really. Not saying you should be a whole robot,
Okay.
but in terms of being like a little too emotional, I don't think that would be wise. Um, Excuse me, because first off, we're not built like that, so we shouldn't be letting it get the best of us. Now I understand we're human. We're not perfect. Again, we're not robots. So but we have to learn how to get it under control. um for example, there's like, one of my big homie told me there's like four, like, for men I'm talking about emotional intelligence. So like there's four steps to it. Number one is like consider emotional state. So meaning consider the person's emotional state at that point in time. Um, if you see the person is looks like they're highly upset about something. Okay, like example, your woman highly upset or whatnot. So it's like, okay, consider, or she looks like she's going through something. So what I mean, find out what the problem is, hear her out. Let her parlay on it, but don't be quick to just cut her off or whatever, because remember, she's already upset, right? Or somebody that could be like depressed, right? You gotta pick up these little things. So that's why I say like emotional state, you just gotta like pick up on that. The second one is stop and think. So meaning, you can get, let's say the person gets you upset, right? So now you gotta again, you gotta be rational and think, all right, I could say something out of line, while I'm frustrated. That's why you got to take your time, stop for a second, think about it, reflect. It's like, all right, you know what? Let me just let me cool off for a second, or let me think. All right, you know what? I didn't like what she may have done, or how this situation may have happened. So I gotta come at it logically, instead of just blurring out some nonsense, and what I mean, just cursing, or what I mean, like belittling the person or what have you.
Mhm.
And then the third one is positive talk and self talk. So always gotta think positively, right? Always speak to the person and like just give them some positive feedback. Just what I mean, you don't want to, again, you don't know what they're going through. They can be going through a stressful situation. Someone could be suffering from depression. um, Someone just always moody, or just quiet. So what I mean, try to give them something positive, something encouraging, what I mean. And then, but also at the same time, for yourself, it's good to speak positive about yourself, because we don't we don't we don't big ourselves up all the time. We got to be our own hype man sometimes. You got to be, same with the females. You got to be your own cheerleader, right? So it's good to big yourself up in that way. And it's like nothing has ever come good out of saying something negatively. right? So then the fourth one is listen sincerely. So you know what I mean? It's like, don't just, we know us men, our women love to talk. So don't just be like, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? Not really take anything in, like really take in what she's saying. Like, okay, she'll say something and be like, oh yeah, so like what happened there? Like why did that happen? You know what I mean? Be engaged in the conversation that she's maybe having, right? So, and then also just some like side notes. It's like you got to ask yourself these three questions. It's like whatever the situation may be, it's like, does this need to be said? So whatever you may think at the time, maybe it may not be the best, thing again, because when emotions are all over the place, you can say some wild stuff. So you got to think about it. Does this need to be said? The second one is, does it need to be said by me? Right? You don't have to necessarily say it yourself. You'd be like, you know what? Um, Maybe I'm not the person to say it. So, like for example, um, let's say you're at the workplace, uh, and you see a missus come through. She's dressed, showing a little bit of cleavage. Stuff is a little bit, dress is a little bit tight or whatever. Now, you as a man may want to say something because it may not be appropriate, but because in the times we're living in right now, it may come off the wrong way. So maybe you can go and ask maybe one of your female coworkers, check it. You have this lady right here. She's kind of, I don't want to get her in trouble or whatever. So I was just wondering, if you can maybe talk to her, let her understand from a woman's point of view, be
What
a little more conservative.
I
You
gotta
did.
say, I
Go
disagree
ahead.
with that though 100%. To get somebody else involved, they may take offense to that. So I I would I that's woo, to go get somebody and say
Hmm.
you wasn't feeling that situation to talk to that person for you.
No, I mean in the sense of like how she was dressed. I'm saying, like,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean. It's like, because for if a guy were to say it, it could just come off like wrong. Again, in the times we're living right now, like guys can almost we can't say nothing almost. You know what I'm saying? Especially like to a woman in the workplace, especially it can come off as offensive. So like that's why I said, I hear what you're saying in terms of like trying to get someone else, but that's why I said get another lady involved. That way it doesn't come off as like, oh, like, why, if I were to say it to a woman, like, why does he need to
Yo,
tell me
if
that?
a
You know what I'm
dude
saying?
came up to me because a woman sent him, like because I'm wearing muscle shirts and that make
But not saying me, not
no,
saying
no, no,
like
no. I
I
get it.
sent her. See what I'm
I'm
saying?
saying if a woman sent another guy to me to
Mm-hmm.
address me wearing muscle shirts and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna also have like, bro, why are you coming up to me? Like, he's coming up to me to tell me to not wear this. Like, who do you think you are? Like, I
Oh,
don't
you
care
talk
you're a
you talk about
guy.
if a dude or a
If
woman
a
you're saying.
woman did the same thing, sent a guy to me, I'm not
Oh, I
gonna
see.
have that. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like who is he to tell me like I should fall
It's-
back? I may feel good in this. I may feel good in this muscle shirt. So I don't. A woman's not gonna listen to another woman. That's just causing problem. She don't want to hear what another woman got to say.
all right. I mean, I hear you, but it's like, I'm just using an example. It's
I
just
get it.
something.
You're
It's like,
saying that's
you
the
know what I mean?
only
Like,
option, but they're not gonna accept that option either.
well, hey man, it is. I've learned a lot of people like don't like hearing it the easy way. They like feeling it the hard way. So let them feel. You dig?
That's what we
So
told you. Deal with it. You know.
you know what I mean. So then the third one is like, does it need to be said right now? So meaning like you're mad. It's like, you need, sometimes you don't need to say whatever you guys say right then and there. Give the person time to cool off, half hour, later on the day, even later on the week. I mean, I would prefer you don't wait a week, but like, at least address it later on that day. Um, just give the person time to cool off, because, I know, especially for me, sometimes I can get a little heated. I don't want to talk about it right now. So, you know what I mean? I'll just walk away. I will exit the situation, and walk away, gather my thoughts, because I don't want to say anything that may make the situation worse. You know what I mean? So it's like, but all that being said, in terms of, I'll be real quick, because June, I'll let you jump in after this real quick. Um, letting letting your lady see you like crying, or like just be like super emotional, let's say, because I know they'd be saying, "Oh, why don't you get in touch with your feminine side and all that stuff?" And for me, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's like, why would I be in touch with my feminine side? Am I feminine? No, I know nothing about that. So like, why? I'm not asking a woman to get in tune with her masculine side. I don't want her to do that. So that's the stupidest thing I've heard. Secondly, um, if you just, again, if you being like, because now she's gonna look at you, if you're always like whiny, complaining a lot, you're always crying, she's gonna look at you like a kid now. She's gonna lose respect for you, like slowly, slowly. So it may not be right away, but I'm telling you, they tell you to do it, but if you do it, I'm telling you right now, it will slowly dwindle, slowly. After a while, they're just going to lose respect from what I've seen. From what I've seen, not personally myself, but what I've seen, like other people that I know. I won't mention names, but it's not the greatest look. Um, just FYI. Again, not saying you should be a robot either. Come at her asking for certain advice for certain things, but to be emotional in front of her, mm, I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. I don't suggest it. June, sorry about that. Please, let's hear your thoughts on if.
I'll start with you said show the feminine side, and then you said it doesn't make sense. I think
Mhm,
what it is like they're using the wrong word. It's not a matter of feminine side. It's like if a woman's always crying and you're like, yo, you got to be tougher. You're
mhm.
essentially saying get in touch with your masculine side, but you're using the right words. You want her to be tougher. So when they're saying feminine side, they don't mean feminine side. They're saying stop being just one side, where it's just I see rock, I pick rock, I break it on head. They're trying to say try not to just be that brute animal. Try to. So I think that's what they're saying. But what I'll say, you were saying a bunch of things where I was wondering, are you giving remedies to not be emotional, or like what was that what you were given? Remedies like on the ways to handle it instead of being
Just that
emotional?
can the ways to handle it instead
Okay.
of just being like overly emotional. Ways to handle
Yes, if somebody's overly emotional, that's always wrong. But with guys, because I think sometimes we're talking about emotions, some people think it's crying in front of people. That's the emotion. A lot of
it.
times
No,
we're
not just
showing. No, but that's what a lot of people think when we're saying, oh, if a guy's emotional, they're thinking about a guy who's crying a lot. It could be
that.
a guy who's super aggressive all the time, who's super mad. That was my emotion, was anger. And that's an issue with a lot of guys is we don't know how to define other feelings. It's just I'm mad. If I'm getting into a conversation with her and she's not understanding what I'm talking about, I'm getting mad and it's angering me. So it's like, yeah, nobody who if a woman's always crying, if she's always angry, if she's always frustrated, if she's always scared, yeah, that's terrible. I don't think any guy should always be emotional. I had a friend who was always crying in front of women, always, and they
Really?
loved the boy. Yes. It was his, I don't know if it was real tears, but that was his tactic to keep them. Like, I'm gonna kill myself. He started crying and they stay with him. And it's this was after like right after high school. So you figure like before you're like 21, but around them ages. And it's
Hmm.
like
Oh,
for
like,
me,
okay, I get what you're saying. Okay.
that was when I went a long stretch without dropping a tear. So for me, that was like, how can somebody just be crying like that? Like it just didn't make sense to me. It still is weird to me. It's
Mhm.
weird, but I feel nobody should be one emotion too much. You shouldn't always be happy. A guy shouldn't always be happy. He shouldn't be walking around always happy. And I don't mean like you're accepting what's happening, but your wife cheat on you, you're happy. Your car got an accident, you're happy. Like, come on, like that's weird. I don't think any that's gonna frustrate your wife. Like, let's say, God forbid, something happened to your kid and he's
You
happy.
said
No,
continue, continue, continue.
she's gonna think something's wrong with you. So I don't think anybody should be too emotional on one emotion. I think But you were saying, here goes something I wanted to say with what you were saying. You said
Yeah.
you'll bring it, you won't say it right then and there. You'll
Mhm.
bring it, and you may have to think about it. And then what if that makes it worse for the person? Because the reason I'm asking,
Mhm.
wifey's like that. She'd rather not have the conversation immediately. She'd rather, like you said, go away, think about it so she don't say the wrong thing or make it. Now, if that way makes it worse on the person, because now the person is sitting there with their own thoughts and it's
Mhm.
getting worse, and now they're getting angry because things are building up. How do y'all still do that though?
Well, one, I'm not trying to dwell on it to make me more angry. I would really try to, again, I'm only speaking for me. Um I'm I'm trying to like think of it where it's like, all right, what went wrong? What I could have did better, assess, and then like, all right, so let me think of how I, could have went about it. And
Mhm.
then, so it's like for me, I just need that time because again, if I say something right there, she could just say something that may trigger me. And then, I may say something just ignorant, or what I mean, just say something just real foul. And it's like, why do that when I could have just waited? Hell, even if I waited just 20 minutes, like, what I mean, just to gather my thoughts. You dig? So that's just for me. If that works for them, I mean, why not?
No, I
You know
hear
what I
that.
mean?
I'm saying, but if you're doing that, and while you're doing that, it's worse for the other person, where the other person is building on to them because they need to talk about it right there. Because they're adding things to the like, yo, he was doing it because of this, she was doing it because of that. Instead of just talking about it, you give that person time to go sit with a wrong, and now they're just building, building, building. Like, if y'all know that can happen, why is it only y'all don't want to say something wrong? Y'all don't want to. If the person's sitting there thinking about things, they may be sitting there now. They're going to say something wrong because it's not in the moment. Now they had time to think. They got negative things to say because they were arguing with themselves. Like, nah, she was wrong for this. He was wrong. Like, how do y'all still do it if it can affect the person? Like, if
But what do you suggest? Like, I don't mean to answer your question,
no,
but
no. I'm
what do you?
asking you that question. I'm asking you that question because
I can't. Again, I can't speak for the other person. I'm not. I don't know how they. I know how they feel because I can see it, but like I'm only speaking for me. Like I can't.
I
I'm not
know.
just
That's
gonna
why I'm
go and
asking. That's
talk.
why I'm asking you. I'm asking you if you know
But
it
I
can
can't
make
answer for
it.
that person. I can't answer for that person. I
No,
don't.
but
I
I'm
don't know.
asking you about you. I'm not asking about the other person. Try to
Yeah.
listen to what I'm saying. No, but
Yeah.
listen to what I'm saying. If you
Mhm.
know it can make it worse on the other person, don't worry about how the other person feel. What I'm trying to say is, if you know it can make it worse, how do you still go and handle it that way? If you know it can make it worse for the other person.
Well, one, you got to know your person. Like you gotta, again, you would, I would hope the person would know, that about the person that they're with. So that's number one. And
But
then, you guys would have that conversation. Not, I'm not saying at that particular situation. I mean, like beforehand,
mhm.
and talk about, it's like, listen, this is how I am. I'm the type of person, like, I may need a few minutes to cool off or whatever, da da da. And they'll let you know how they do it, and then you guys come to a compromise, right? So again, we're assuming you have this conversation
But
before. You know what I
okay,
mean?
now for you, what's the compromise? Is go your way.
Yeah, for
But
me.
that's what I'm trying to say. That's not a compromise. That doesn't work in a relationship if you're
but I,
saying,
but I'm letting them know. So because
granted,
I'm letting them know,
but if I
now
if I
it's
go to a woman, I say I'm a cheater. I'm just letting you know. Just letting them know doesn't what does that do?
Well, that's a completely different
Well,
thing. You
which which
you gotta
which
leave.
one do you want? Which one do you want me to? Okay, I'm a liar. I'm a liar, and I'm letting you know.
Mhm.
So, because you let the person know, because that's to me that's even worse than a liar. Not a liar, cheater, because that's
That's worse.
communication. That's communication issues right there. It's going to bring other problems. If the person need to talk about it because it's fresh, it's just happening, but you need to take it. That person may feel like, yo, this person is going to go
But
get.
then,
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Continue, please.
You may go over there and now you're thinking of excuses to give me. I notice people that do that always want excuses. Like they come back with excuses why they did what they had to do. And it's like, no, in the moment, let's talk about it. Because when I ask you, why did this happen? I don't want to hear, I forgot this, or, I don't even know. Let's talk about it when it's fresh. If you say something wrong, I say something wrong, it's going to build our relationship. If we scared to say something wrong around each other, what are we like in a relationship for? It's to grow, but you're not gonna let me grow because you got to grow by yourself. That's not a
but that,
relationship.
but what the way you're describing it makes it
Uh-huh.
sound like I have to bend to their will.
No,
That's what
but
it makes it
that's
sound
not
like.
what we're talking. What I'm here go. What I'm saying. What I'm saying is, for that person to go, that's a singular activity. You're going to go do something. The reason I said if that person, if you know that person is going to make it worse for them, that means it doesn't work for the relationship at all. If you have to speak right then and there, think about what you're saying. You can like if you know it's worse for the other person. Like
Hmm.
if you know it's gonna, you know what, they're gonna say, okay, you can go, but it's gonna be a problem because it's always a problem. You're saying you won't bend that? There's no
You're
compromise.
like I said, I hear what you're saying, but you're basically saying, "Hey, I see your drink there, bro." But yours, the way I'm interpreting it and how I'm taking it is like,
Uh-huh.
forget me going my way and do whatever. Just like talk about it right there and then. And that's what I think is what you're basically trying to say. And so it's like scratch my way,
Yes,
just
but
go their way.
your way is, let me tell you this, because when I speak, I gotta let the
Yeah,
viewer know. When I speak, I'm
of course.
speaking from from the true relationship. I'm talking from what God created. If you're gonna have to go your separate way, then you have to is I'll put it in the description. You have
Hmm.
to, or in the comment section, you
Yeah,
have to actually let that person know, well, I cannot right now. This is too much for me, and I need time away from you. It says that you can't just, I'm just gonna walk out. It doesn't work like that. That's a
but but
single-minded person.
but
It's
that's
not
what
a,
but that's what I was saying. That's what I
but you
said.
would have to tell that person right then and there, this is too much for me to handle. Because you said you just
Yeah,
walk out. You can't
that's
just
exactly
walk
what I
out.
said.
Nah,
That's what I
you said,
said.
yeah, I talked about that before. I'm not saying talked about it
No,
before.
no, but I'm saying I would tell them like, listen, I'm too heated. I don't want to say anything, like foul. So give me a bit because I want to, again, that's why I said I don't want to wait too long. Because some people could forget. So I just need a few minutes to cool off, and then we're gonna speak on it.
If
That's
you
what I
tell them
said.
that,
That's
if you tell them that
what I
right
said.
then and there, I could see,
Yeah,
yes. If the
yeah.
person, but if the person tell you, nah, I need to talk about it right now, what are you gonna say?
Hey, then be ready for whatever I tell you.
Yeah,
Be ready for
okay,
whatever. You see
I,
what I'm saying?
then I agree 100. I agree 100.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's what I'm saying. It's like, no, I'm just saying like, no, I don't want to talk, yo, and then just, you know what I mean? No, none of that. We're civilized. It's like I would let
I got
them
you.
know. You dig what I'm saying? Come on, dog.
Well,
Damn, give me a
I need a
chance.
clarification because
For
I'm
sure,
that
bro.
person who typically I need to talk about it because if
Hmm.
I sit by myself, I'm telling you, it
Hmm.
will be worse because I'm gonna add
Yeah,
stuff
because
to it.
you're in your thoughts, right? Like,
Yeah, so I'm fighting myself. So I'm gonna
mm,
make myself think I'm right. And it's like I
mm,
don't want that. I want to hear I'm wrong when I say something and the person hit me with a defense. It's like, oh, I was wrong. And I
mm.
rather that than me just sitting there. I am right. Like, you know what? She did do this. And then you know what? And then I'm starting to think about something last month that had nothing to do with anything and I'm mad
Yeah,
at it. And it's like,
I know. Added stuff that's like has nothing to do with the situation. I hate that too, bro.
so that's why I don't want to do that. But I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yes, if you say if like let's say wifey say, yo, I need right now, I just don't know how to handle this right here. What we're talking about. I need a few minutes to get my thoughts together and I'll come back. But you coming back. I'm gonna let her know, but you coming back.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
of
I
course.
need to talk about it today though. But
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that because that's
You know what I'm
avoiding
saying?
confrontations. That's keeping the peace essentially. I agree with that.
Exact.
I
That's
agree
it.
with
That's
that.
all I'm
I agree
saying.
with
That's
it.
all I'm saying. So all right, that's what's up. But um, so what we was talking about? because I want we have a little clip I want June to put up. Um, when I said to you guys that not to be too emotional and uh, just how can I say this? Almost like almost like she's one of your girlfriends, like lady friends, or one of her lady friends. Let me show you what happens. Go ahead, June, if you can.
Emotional men never win. It's so attractive when a guy isn't afraid to open up and be emotional. It takes maturity to do this, though, in my opinion. Then she says, the last time a guy cried over me, I literally had to force myself to think sad thoughts to stop myself from laughing in his face. The legendary pimp Iceberg Slim once said that the way he was able to maintain women, his biggest secret was not letting them in to his emotional state, not letting them know when he was angry, sad, or even happy. Now, of course, he was dealing with the most whimsical creature on the planet, which is the prostitute, the most promiscuous woman there is known to man. And I've already told you and uttered in one of my videos that the more promiscuous a woman is, the harder it is to maintain her. Now, you don't have to be that inhumane and go to the extreme of not ever letting your woman in, but be careful. Emotional men never win.
So, y'all hear that? A woman said it's basically it's dope that he's able to open up to her and speak his piece and whatnot. Same woman later, same woman that said that my man, was getting emotional, whatever, and she had to think bad thoughts to not laugh in his face. Yo,
So she laughed behind his back,
yeah,
definitely.
she laughed behind his back, and more 9 times out of 9, most likely told her girls and laughed with them too in their group chat. Come on, bro. I'm trying to tell you, don't do it.
Mm.
Don't do it. Don't do it, big fella. Listen, don't be. Listen, I'm trying to tell you right now, man. Uh, it's not a good look because when you come around, around her girlfriends and stuff, and when they may have a little, get together or whatever, bro, you're gonna be the laughing stock because it's like, oh, that's him. Damn, you know what I mean? It's don't get set up out here, y'all.
Ah,
It's a straight setup. It's a straight setup. So I will not be doing that. I don't think. No, I don't think I've ever gotten like. No, I'm not gonna front. Maybe back in the day when I was younger, I didn't cry, but I could have been a little too emotional. Back in my younger days, I ain't gonna front like I didn't. But after a while, pardon me, nope, that stopped real quick. That stopped real quick. So and it's so far it's been work for me. You know what I mean? So, um, but to each his own. To each his own. But I'm just saying, we just showed, you know, this. She was saying she was bigging it up in in one breath, and then the next breath saying that she listen to what she said. She had to think of something sad to, to hold in her laughter to not laugh in this guy's face. The disrespect is just blatant. Let me tell you, June, what you
yo,
think about
I,
that?
and you know what? That's what most guys are afraid of is having
100%.
things thrown back in their face.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, no, I don't want to share my heart with her because she's gonna use it against me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most women will do that. They will use it against you, but I think the right woman does not. Like, yo, let me tell you this.
You
I'm
think so?
someone I think so because let me tell you, they not she was talking about two different guys. The one guy that she want to see emotional, that's the guy that doesn't. show emotion too much. Like I'm someone who I don't show like that emotion that they want to show often. Like they want us like, baby, I love you. I don't show that. That's not who I
Yeah.
am. So since I'm not that person, if I show an emotion where I'm like some type of sensitive, they see hope in me. Believe it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Believe it or not, because I'm just opposite of. I wasn't raised to show that type of. So I've been trying to practice to be more human because I just felt like I lack that. I like that human quality of showing emotion. It's hard for me. I cannot all of that lovey-dovey stuff. I want to learn how to do that because that's not me.
Well,
And
I think you got it. I mean, look, you married,
I'm
bro.
just
You got a
saying,
wife.
no, that doesn't mean trust me. I don't I don't have that part. And like I try to
Just
tell
want
her,
something.
she needs to help me learn that. But for her, she think like, if she helps me do it,
Mhm.
that's not authentic because I should just be like that. And it's
Like
like, no.
you should do it like on your own.
So
Like,
to her, that's fake. It's like, oh, then you're only doing it because, and it's like, nah, that's not what it is. What up,
mhm.
Art Joseph?
Hey, all right, Joseph, peace, King. What's up, man? Appreciate you tuning in, big dog.
But
But
I don't show her that emotion. And the other guy she's talking about is the guy, my friend, who's always crying.
mhm,
Yes, they're gonna clown you because at the same time they're clowning themselves also. Because it's like, why am I with this guy that's always crying? Like, this is who I'm with. I'm with a
yeah,
guy who's just sitting there being emotional all the time. He gets angry because I'm going out with my girls. He's sitting there crying because he's doing, and it's like they don't want to deal with that. Come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to tell them, pull your panties up, bro. No disrespect to women. But pull your panties up. That's
word,
how
yo.
it's good.
We'll
So they don't
change.
really want to deal. I don't think they really want to. So it's two different guys. I don't think it's the same guy.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't.
Now
Hey,
I gotta respect the way it's written. I try not to say people's name. Some people want their identities. You
yeah,
know what I
good.
mean?
So he's being respectful. He's being respectful,
Yeah.
cuz he's being respectful. That's
But
all.
what we're talking about is it okay to be emotional around your woman? And
Yes.
the reason we're talking about it is because we just watched a short clip with a woman saying, matter of fact, you could say what she said.
Yeah, so she was saying in one I don't remember verbatim, but she was basically saying that she finds it's cute and it's almost like I don't want to say turn on, well, almost like
It's
she's happy
attractive.
that she was happy that her man was opening up to her and stuff like that, on more of an emotional side. In one post, I think it was a tweet, and then in the next post, she writes that again, same woman writes that I had to think of something sad to not laugh at this man's face because he was being emotional in front of her, probably crying. So
More
I
than
was like,
likely.
yeah, and I was like, damn, this is the same woman that just said it was
It was attractive
happy
for
about
men
it.
to be
Yeah, it's
emotional.
attractive. That's it. It was attractive for a man to show emotion. Yet in another post, she's saying she had to think of something sad to to not laugh in this guy's face because he's being emotional.
But
Like
that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's two different men. She's talking about two different men. She's
yeah,
not. She don't want to see the guy that's always crying. She don't want to see him cry.
that,
The guy who's never crying and who just his mother died and he's just chilling. She want to
Mhm.
see that guy cry because I want to be the one that's seen you cry. Like
but
nobody.
but okay. But let me ask you this: when I I I hear what you're saying, and yeah, I have noticed that. The ones that are kind of like harder to crack, more up with the hard shell, like it it's like they want to see it. But my question to you is, when they do see it now, do you think the respect level will remain,
It
or
depends.
do you?
It depends on a woman because I told you that story.
Mhm.
There's one where I put her through hell, and not intentionally, but just growing up. I was a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
And when I cried at my sister's wedding, she was like, and I was always trying to toughen her up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, and then she became tough. And I appreciated her growth. So when I cried, and I was happy about the crying because I felt like that was growth for me. It was like all of these years not crying and I released it. I felt great. She's like, nah, that's weak to me. And she was using that to try to hurt me because you're still here. I'm still in your crib right now. So it's like, nah, if it really bothered you, if it bothered me, I'm not kicking it with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they will use it to hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if they really look. I wouldn't be with a woman who, like, let's say my cousin, something happened to my cousin, he got hurt, and let's say I was to cry or I'm just stressed out for
Mm-hmm.
her to look down on me. I wouldn't be with that type of woman. I'd be with a woman who understands that at the end of the day, I'm a man. Where when I was younger, I got beatings, I cried. You know what I'm saying? So if I cried when I was younger, something could happen where I cry. So I wouldn't be with a woman like that. I don't know if you would, but I'm not gonna be with a woman who's talking. Oh, I'm trying to think of something sad so I don't laugh in your face. Who's going?
Yeah, that's
I would
wild.
never be with a woman like that.
That's wild. But uh, I say this, but I tell, like, for the viewers, I have I like to call them my board of trustees. So it's group of dudes. They're mostly my fam, right? That I trust, that I can come to them about anything, say whatever, uh, whatever my emotion is, whether I tear up in front of them or whatever. It's like I know one they ain't gonna you know clown me on it, because but we're men though. It's like, what I mean, like,
You
depending
gotta
on the
poke a little bit.
yeah, you will poke you a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you dig? But like, we're not doing it to hurt you, we're poking you. But it's like, the saying goes, iron sharpens iron. So it's
Yeah,
like, I need men to, what I'm saying, like, let them know, and then, what I mean, they're just gonna, share their like advice. And I value their advice, again, because these are people that I trust. So that's why I always encourage men in particular to have your board of trustees. You know what I mean? So that is extremely important. Because again, there's just certain things that men will understand. Either what they've gone with personally, right?
yeah,
Or so like they'll get it. Trust, they'll get it. So that's why having a board of trustees, or whatever you want to call your rat pack, whatever, like, you need that. 100% you need that. So like,
definitely. Because you go out in the streets acting like all that rage is gonna come out on somebody in the streets. And I'm speaking
100%.
from personal experience where I was holding it in and this and that, and I'm taking it out on you because, like R. Joseph said, our family, we weren't allowed. Like that's looked down at. Like,
Yeah,
what
100%.
is that? Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
look,
like that, because it's like it's like, what's and I get it too. It's like, what is that gonna solve? Like, the tears. What is it doing? It does
yeah,
nothing.
I'll tell
It's
you this though, it make you feel better. I promise you.
I hear you, but like, I
Yeah,
just
let me
can't
say
do it
this. When my
because
pops died, I dropped tears once, no,
but
twice,
that's
and then
different. But that's a
no,
heavy.
but
Like, me
still,
seeing
it's
that.
still tears. Them tears really release all of that anger you have for certain things and just the hurt. It really, really. The reason I'm telling you this because the time before my sister's wedding, I cried was when I got spanked. The last time I got spanked, I was probably like 10, like around that age. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't cry since then. So
Mm-hmm.
when I did, I'm like, why was I? Like, why do people lie to me? Like, I can't do this. I could do it. I'm not gonna sit there crying. Like, you know what? I'm on TV. I'm just no, but let's say I'm watching a movie and I like it, and it's a movie that somebody just lost a child, and I could connect to it. A
Mm-hmm.
tear might roll down my eyes. I don't care if I'm around people like Junior. Yeah, that was crazy. I just lost my son in that movie. So for me, I
Like
don't care about that.
like the director did a good job. Like, it
Yes,
hit
James
you. Like,
Cameron held me down.
yeah.
But see, that piece, I feel like that piece is needed. You need someone who accept the piece on if it really hurt me, I can show you my true feelings. If you don't find that person, you're going to be living in a shell in your own house. You're going to be scared to show your wife, your whatever, your emotions. And it's like that builds up. I'm telling you, it builds up. And then guys, we start going crazy, going around shooting people. And it's like,
Yeah,
why? Because we had all of them tears in us.
man, mental health for men is not a game, man. Because the the suicidal rate for us is a lot higher, man. It's we got to
Facts.
deal with a lot more, bro. It's we got to deal with our stuff at home. We got to deal with the outside world. We got there's so much things, bro. So it's like, and again, we talk about it. If we talk about it, we're looked at as weak,
Weak.
or we get ridiculed, or what I mean. We're told to toughen up, but it's like, again, that's why I say you need that board of trustees. You don't have that as a man. I'm telling you, you're gonna snap. You're either gonna snap, you're gonna hurt somebody, or you're gonna hurt yourself. So please, get your rat pack, get your board of trustees. I got mines. I tell them everything. I'm like, yo, dudes, we need to parlay, and if they ain't all available, I just hit up whoever's available, and they'll just take the time, listen, give me their 2 cents, and yeah, so it's definitely essential. So yeah,
Facts.
that's what I mean. And again, if you don't, if you can't find a board of trustees, don't be afraid to get help, man. Professional help, like that's important, man. Like if again, if you can afford it, and or you got a job that's benefits, you'll take advantage of those, man. Don't, again, you got to talk to somebody.
But
Uh,
there's a stigma in our community where you can't really talk about it. Like you can't.
and that's true, especially in Caribbean households.
Yeah.
It's like it's big, because they, in their mind, they don't want to tell other people their problems, their personal problems.
Yeah.
Like, I hear you on that, but you dying, you are slowly dying to
Yes.
the point you will either kill yourself or kill someone. Is that healthy? Absolutely not. This has been happening for too long. It's not working. It's not working. Something needs to change. So, you know, that's cute and all, but it really ain't. So, hey, break the curse, and just seek the help, man. So, don't be crying. Don't get set up out here. Don't get set
We
up.
we may have to say we're gonna have to save the second question for another time.
We will, because we had a next one, y'all, and I'm telling you, the next one's good. So, hey, listen, man. Um, listen, we're gonna save it. We will let y'all know if we're gonna either talk about it on Friday or next week Wednesday. Once again, don't forget, y'all. For those of you that subscribed, tell your friends if you're gonna share it. We are now doing lives on Wednesdays with Hold Up Hear Me Out, though. Me and June, 8:15. Fridays collab with Hold Up Hear Me Out, though. Same time, 8:15. That's on
A
Fridays.
matter of opinion.
So with Matter of Opinion. So Wednesday, us. Friday with Matter of Opinion. Both
Collab.
times 8:15. So again, you guys please share this. Um, please subscribe. We'll hit the like button. I mean, it's for free. I mean, it's free.
Man,
And
what?
just continue to rock with us. But I'm telling you, you want to tune in for the next one that we got. I promise you it's going to be good. Trust and believe me. So, hey,
Do
again,
you think? Wait, do you think we could leave it on a short?
yeah.
Then
Not,
subscribe. We're gonna have it
yeah,
on a
yeah,
short. Subscribe.
we might do that. We might do that. So again, you got to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can see if we're gonna do a short or not, and then you'll know right away. So hit that subscribe button. Yiddy. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to everybody in the chat. I see y'all. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. You already know it is. Hold up, hit me out though. Your boy Rex.
And Joe.
We out here.